Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
And he's probably like, that's not how it works. It's how it works.
You can edit it.
Do what say. We are the Fit the Description podcast, damn it.
We are.
Welcome to Fit the Description, a Black woman's podcast where various Black women come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and wherever else we want to talk about from various women's perspectives. I am your host, Summer, and today we'll meet the rest of the cast.
Hi, I'm Daphne.
Hi, I'm TJ.
Hi, I'm Lola Brew.
And with that said, what are we going to talk about today, ladies?
Whatever the hell we want to talk about.
I have a story. It was a funny story. I'm going to try to leave out all the cultural references that were going on. We'll see how I do. So I went out to eat with a party of 6 or 7. I was the only person of my cultural representation at this meal. And when the check came, the people at the end of the table said, "Oh, we're so sorry. We forgot to tell you to split the check." So the guy goes, "Okay." And they're like, "Can you split the check?" And then the lady said, "And I'll pay for this person here." So the guy went back to split the check. So he splits the checks. He starts handing them out. And I, pay with cash. So I already had figured out what was what. And then somebody next to me was like, "Oh, he charged us a splitting check fee."
I've seen that before.
And so the problem was we had come to this place last month and there was 3 additional people that were not there this time. We sat at one long table. We had the same server and we had split checks, but they told him before they ordered. So on that occasion, another lady looked at the thing and, paid or whatever. So she recalled when we came here last month, they did not charge us a check splitting fee. So at that point, everybody's looking at their stuff and I see it. And then somebody laughs and says, well, that went their tip. And I thought, oh, do they have anything to do with that? The server.
That's funny because it's all done by computer. So why are you charging a fee for that?
Again, I was culturally different than everyone at this table. And the person who was our server was similar in culture to them.
Right. And
they all decided as patrons, and I was quiet in the matter. They decided they weren't going to tip this person that looked like them. And they were outraged that they got charged this fee for splitting the check when it didn't happen last month. I thought, wow, this is interesting. I was totally going to give this fool a tip because because I feel like that's a company policy because it printed out on the receipt, right? The company programs this into the receipt.
Into the computer, yeah.
And so it truly was, and I got there late, so, it truly was our mistake not to mention it before he pulled wrote everything up, but they didn't tip him. And I sat there in my blackity blackness thinking, I'm going to tip him. And then I thought, this is what's wrong with us now.
Mm-hmm.
And I put my tip back in my pocket. Was I wrong?
Right. No, I wouldn't say that You were wrong because it just shouldn't have happened.
So yeah, I felt like the company having a policy for separate checks shouldn't have affected his tip, but I also feel like when you're a server and you're on it, like I feel like maybe somebody should have told him, "Oh, they didn't tip you because this." And then I felt like these people are so entitled in their rightness. And I am so black that I was like, these fools going to try to schedule lunch here again. And I'm going to say no because he's going to spit in.
Right.
Because how many times do you go to the same place where you have issues with your food? Are you paranoid like I am, or do you just stop going altogether? Like you got an issue with your food, you give it up, or you keep going there?
You know what? No, he does have to bring the food back. So I was going to say he's not making it, but he is carrying it back to the table. So yes, he could be spitting in your food. I would not go.
Yeah, I think even, wait a minute, where's Lola Roo?
I'm right here.
Oh, would you keep going back to a place where something like that happened, where you've gotten the same server at least twice, sat in the same similar party with the same similar faces? Like, he's going to know you guys again. And then here I am, the oddball out like the polka dot, making it even more so where he's like, yeah, it's these same chicks that didn't tip me last month.
Yeah, which is why I either would have waited for him to come back to the table to collect whatever and then gave him my little portion of the tip for my meal and be like, here you go. I don't know what's going on.
So basically, you're giving him the wink, like, remember me? Yeah, when you like, remember me? Tip it to the tip.
Yep. Or I will go back again and just be hyper aware of who is around and who will be my server. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. If the place is good, I wouldn't stop going. I just stopped going with those chicks.
Oh yeah, they should never invite me to that place again.
Yeah.
Never. And I feel like they messed this up because I used to roll through there for a rando karaoke on a Friday night. And I was like, man, I see how these servers talk to the bartenders and everything. So yeah, that place is dead to me now. And that's how I roll with businesses, food service, drinks, anything that I'm going to consume. If you have a problem and I am sitting there, this going to be I hope my food and drink came out already. You want to refill? I'm not hungry. You want it to go by? So I'm going to try to stuff all this food and I want you to bring in nothing but the check. I'm going to eat I'm full. I'm going to eat all the food. It doesn't matter. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I will swear off a place and never return. Or I'll return probably about some years later if they're still open. See, that's all you got to do. Just wait about a good 3-4 years.
I'm gonna wait you guys out.
Server, you got to outwait the server,
right?
So he's not gonna be there.
You don't work here all you don't go walk in there like you gonna work here all your fucking life. Gather aspiration. Still waiting on tables.
Non-ambitious. I don't know how you get married.
Oh.
That's what I do. I'll wait, especially if it's a really good place that I really like. I will wait it out.
I remember when you got into the Yelp argument with that one place with show name nameless, but that was funny. She told these people that she could taste their canned tomatoes, and that lady said, "Oh no, you don't."
Oh wow.
Are you talking about the pizza place?
Yes, and you were like, the new management obviously uses canned tomatoes.
I don't know. No, it was, I have been going to this pizza place for like years. My coworkers, like all of us, we've been going there for years. And even so much so that we became friends with the owners. It was a husband and a wife, and we were friends, We had a
Right.
decent relationship.
Right.
And they knew my order. They were very fond of me. They were older couple, Italian couple,
Mhm.
nice people. And then, they were so fond of me, so much so that they would tell me, oh, we went for a trip back East Coast to visit the
Right.
family. And when I go and I'm like, oh, how was the family and how? So it was like that type of deal.
Right. Right.
So they ended up telling me that they were going to sell the place because, one of them got sick and then they had to go
Mhm.
back home. And so when all of that stuff took place, I guess they sold it. And I don't know if they sold it to family members or to friends or whatnot, but it was another couple similar to them.
Right.
And I can just taste the difference in the tzatziki sauce. I can taste the
Mhm.
difference in the pasta and the tomato sauce. It was
Right.
just everything was different, but I was still giving them a chance. Like, okay, it's not what my taste buds are used to, but whatever.
Right.
It's
They
still
came in
it's
and
still
started
pretty
cutting corners.
right. They started cutting corners. It was still, and so after a while, I was just like, you know what, this ain't right. And so I put my review. I updated my review, and the lady was not happy.
Mhm.
And she pretty much cursed me out
Mm,
on
mm,
that
mm.
review. And
She
Mm,
sure
mm.
did. She
she
told
felt the
her.
wrath of she felt the wrath of the Yelpers, put it that way.
Right. Right.
Because they
Yeah.
went on and they went in on her like, ma'am, how dare you? She is putting her review. She is entitled to that. We're not going to go to your
Yeah.
place either if this is how you're going to treat your customers.
Yeah. You sound like me. I will go and give somebody a scathing review if their stuff is not up to snuff.
But and the thing is, it was only about the food. It wasn't about the environment. It wasn't about the
Mhm.
restaurant cleanliness. It wasn't about the people. It was solely like, oh, it's not the same. It's still, it's still good, but it's not equal. So if you guys are not,
Right.
if
Right.
this is what you liked, you won't get that anymore. But still
Right.
deserving of whoever does like this. It's
Mhm.
different. Yeah, she didn't like it, so oh well.
Mm,
They're
mm,
not there
mm.
anymore, so it's a different place.
Ah! Oh, yeah. Yeah. The customers spoke.
Yeah,
We're with the people that retired, so you gotta go.
yeah.
Wow.
There's this one place though. Okay, so what would you guys do? Right? And I'm still every time, like the weekend, I would normally go out, not every weekend, but every few weekends, I will go out and have breakfast like early in the morning to our
Mhm.
local rotation of breakfast places. So
Right.
this one breakfast place, we've been going here for like several years. I mean, probably since 2015, 16, maybe
Mm.
before then, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's been a long time. So, but recently, I would say maybe within the last year, I haven't felt appreciated as a loyal customer,
Mhm.
So, so one day we went and I got what I usually order, which is French toast. Whenever they have like, okay, so this place, let me give you a background on this place. The place is organic, like breakfast spot. They're only open to
Right.
3 o'clock. So they open at like
Mhm.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock to
Right.
3.
Right.
And they only go to the local farmers market and they basically cook whatever the farmers market yields, like whatever they have. They just get that
Right.
and then make their new menu. So every week their menu changes. Every
Ah, okay.
weekend their menu changes. Yeah. So, but they have their main staples like of their meals that they make, like their breakfast items that they make. One of
Mhm.
them is like a French toast, like a basic French toast.
Right.
But on the weekend, they get fancy, right?
So it's like a
Oh,
fresh
So
to table kind of place.
yes.
right.
So they make this like every now and again they make different types of French toast, whether it's peach cobbler French toast or
Mhm.
apple pie mode French toast, like all of these different types of French toast. And I only go when they make these French toast.
Right.
So So one day when I went, it was really crowded and it was like 10:30. It was really crowded as it always is. But if it's just two, it's not that bad, like
Mhm.
if I'm a party of two. So I went and it took us about 30 minutes to get seated. We're seated and I go to order I'm like, I already know what I want, girl. Just come on, bring me my French toast. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We've run out of those. And I'm like, wait, what? Hold on.
Ooh, boo yourself.
That's the only reason
like,
I'm here, lady.
I'm like, wait. I've been sitting here for 30 minutes. Y'all, you guys know me. You don't act like you don't. I remember when the owner right there was pregnant with her little poo-poo. Hey girl, where my French toast at? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, we run out. Okay, but let me go check. So meanwhile, I see servers just bringing out food left and right to just different tables. And every now and again, I see French toast being brought out. And she's back there talking.
Uh-oh, now I start to get pissed.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at her talk to the owner, and the owner, I don't know what they're saying. So all I see is the owner kind of shrug her shoulders like, yeah. And she kind of nods her head like, yeah, sure. And then I see her shake her head like, no. And so then the girl comes back and she's like, yes, I'm so sorry, but we don't have that anymore. We've run out, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and give me this instead. And so when I just have her bring me something else, I'm again seeing people who ordered after me get this French toast.
No, I'm leaving. I'm not paying. You gonna be sitting. I'm never coming here again.
I was so angry. When I say I was livid, I was like, oh my gosh, Edwin, look, I can see my French toast being taken out. Right. 4 more orders.
That woman over there is eating my French toast.
Yeah. You probably got something stupid. Oh, they called it in ahead. I'm gonna call your head and bring your face.
Right.
It wasn't even that. So when she comes back, my partner's like, you should say something to her, because I pointed it out to him like, yo, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, this is true. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. So when she comes back, I pointed it out to her like, hey, I see that they're still being made. And she's like, oh. And then she gives me this look like,
that's different.
Who told you to be looking around? You sit here.
She gives me a look like, you little keen-eyed.
You're paying attention up in here.
Yes. So then
pull out your cell phone and start texting.
Look, she smirks. She tilts her head and she squints her eyes. And she like smirks like, and she squints her eyes and she's like, I'm so sorry. I think they did have some more, but let me go check.
No, I'm leaving. She gonna come back and we're gone.
She comes back after like a minute and she squats down at the table in front of me, like next to me, and she's like, I'm so sorry. There were more there by the time that you ordered, there was more left apparently, but for some reason I was told that there wasn't, and now there's definitely not any more.
So I basically got the wrong effing server, and you're a reboot of a slow person who never thought to check. How is it possible for you to miss out on there being French toast and all these other servers at all these better tables of service land? How did those servers know there was still French toast? And then I would have caused a spectacle by saying, excuse me, what's your name, Trishy? Come on over here. So this dumb bunny is telling me that she didn't know you had French toast back there. How did you know there was French toast back there? Did you make it? Are you sleeping with the person making French toast for your tables? How did this moron not know there was still French toast? Oh, you get away from me. I want to know from the person who knows where the French toast is coming from. Hey, she said there's definitely not any more French toast. Hey, turn around and don't look at her. Is there still French toast back there, Trishy? Because this dumb bunny doesn't know where the French toast comes from. She thinks it comes from the stork, and the stork isn't flying anymore.
And so I would have went one. when I tell you that she smirked and she tilted her head and squinted her eyes, it was so condescending. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was just like, she's not really sorry.
So did you guys eat your meal there and did you pay them money?
Well, my partner, he ate his meal because he was already eating his meal. I was waiting for mine's. Mine's had came when she came, and so they had brought our food out by the time I told her, because like I said, I was seeing other orders being taken out. So then when she brought our food, that's when I told her, hey, I'm seeing this stuff. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And so I was like, yeah, okay. So she walked away. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She kept saying she's so sorry. And then she walked away. And then he was like, do you want to eat your food still? He was already partly done with his. I was like,
and that's why you wait till everybody has their food before you start eating. I left all that shit there.
He was going to, and I told him, no, they have your item, you're eating your item, you enjoy your item is hot. That food was perfectly fine. So I was telling him, like, I think that there is a little bit of like, I don't think I'm wanted here. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like I'm wanted here or appreciated. So yeah, no, I did not eat my food. I let it sit there. And then when she came back, I told her, yeah, you're going to have to take this off my bill. This is not what I wanted. And this is not. And the reason why I was able to dock that they still had more was because the item that he got had my toppings that would have gone on my French toast. So it had my toppings on his, which means that they switched out his toppings. And I was seeing French toast being taken out. So I was just like, this is all weird. Once again, we're used to going here, been going here for years. He has a rotation of certain items that he gets, and the item that he got, we knew that that wasn't the typical topping that he would normally have on that item. I guess they was just trying to try something fancy or try something different, as they do, I guess. So yeah, but no, she took my food back. We said, take that off our bill. And this is the part that normally, I want to know, do you guys go through this too? Because this is the part that sometimes bothers me, is when he excuses me from the table. He's always like, okay, go ahead. Here's the keys. Go towards go warm up the car, go to the car, get a head start, and I'll go ahead and take care of the bill. And I'm always like, are you going to tip them? You better not let me see the tip you're going to give. Because I think he knows how I feel about tipping and the type of service that you have to provide me in order to get a tip. And and he and I sometimes go back and forth on what should be given and not. So he doesn't mind tipping. But I was like, that person doesn't deserve a tip because they lied. I think that person flat out lied. So we haven't been back to the place, but I want to go back and get French toast because it's so good.
No, you don't want to go there. You got to give it. And that was my question. Like, when do you give up on a place? Like, I feel like in the community, we'll give up on each other so fast. How dare they? They should know better. But other people are like, oh yeah, there was a hair. I remember I went to lunch with someone who is culturally different than me. Yeah. She is an island person.
Right.
And she is from a whole nother country.
Right.
Non-island country. She's a transplant in the islands. And so we were at a Chinese place and we were, setting up to eat. And we were on a lunch break and she got to eating and I got to setting up. If you've ever been out to lunch with me, I like to open my burgers. I like to pull all the pieces apart. I like to reorganize it. I like to go through my food. I like to move my fork around in it. And in doing so, I started swirling some noodles around some broccoli and some beef. And when I pulled it up, all this long ass black hair. I was like, yeah! I mean, This hair was so damn long that the juice started forming the little tear droplets along the black hairline. And I pulled it and I pulled it and then I threw it down and I was like, oh. She's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I can't. It's a hair. And so she looked and she picked up the fork. I was like, oh yeah, that's a hair. So then I was just sitting there and she was still eating her food.
Oh no. Oh.
She had already started. She kept getting down in it. And I was just like, yeah. Okay, I just can't. I can't. No.
Ugh.
And I said, oh, I'm good. And so she calls the person over and she's like, hey, and the person looks like her. And she's like, hey, she got hair in her food. And they were like, hair? And then they look at my hair. So, you know, when you see somebody scan you real quick, they're trying to figure out, you know, it came from you. That's not my hair. And so they looked at me and got like disappointed, like, oh. And then they looked at her real quick and she had a slick back ponytail and they're like, oh. So then they looked at the food and they're like, oh yeah, that's a hair.
Wow.
You want another plate? Now this man has a short haircut. So in my mind, all the beef broccoli is in a pot and they're stirring it and whoever is stirring, hair came off and they just mixed it all into this pot that they got. And I'm not gonna eat that pot. And I was like, I just honestly said, you know, I'm pretty sure this was accidental because of how mixed in my food it was for me to find it, just organizing how I like to eat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, I don't. Oh, would you want another dish? And I looked at the person and I couldn't believe she even said that to me. Hell no, I don't want another dish. Mine is fine.
But that in itself let me know that your chefs back there don't have hairnets.
No. And she was like, mine is fine. And I'm like, she's about 15 years older than me. So I'm like, yeah, yours is fine. But I'm pretty sure the other beef broccolis that went out before mine were fine too.
Oh.
Think about it. It was so mixed in. It you know, I would say it was an accident, you know, as I always assume hair and food is an accident. So it just so mixed in when I was going through it. It just, you know, and so that was the last time I ever went to that place. I said, no, just take it off the bill. Just take it off. And, you know, I was good. I've given up eating at a pizza place. I won't name the franchise because I went in and I saw, you know, a young crew, you know, like late teens, early 20s, and they're having a good time. It's good atmosphere. They're all friendly. But I see the girl talking, pick up a pineapple in between her index and thumb and put it in her mouth and then make a pizza. I was through. I was so shook it. I've been recently, within this year, 2023, I've been at another establishment in a drive-thru. I don't know what possessed, I mean, you know, again, teenage to early 20s kind of crew, happy, chatting, and the girl was very polite. She was like, okay, yeah. Then she starts making my food. I could see her through the drive-thru. She's making my food. She dropped the basket. She's shaking the fry basket. She's putting my order together. And then I watch her switch off the register for me to pay to another girl. And when she was doing that, and this was probably like around like midnight, she starts to eat a piece of the French toast that was going in my order. I don't know if they had a basket of French toast already made or she was making it fresh because, you know, it's midnight. Not a lot of people out in this particular area. But she grabs a piece of toast and she's eating and talking. And then I'm like, when people eat and talk, food can come out of their mouth or spit particles could come out of their mouth. And she's making food. And then she walks up to the counter and starts talking to the girl who was taking my money that she switched off the register with. And just eating. And I think the guy saw the expression in my eyes like, and he said something to her and she looked like, oh no, she's cool. And I'm like, no, black people are not that cool. So she's just like, oh no, she's cool.
No, she's not. And
I didn't want.
I'm canceling my order. I gotta go.
So Daphne's canceling her order. Lola, do you have a problem with people eating the food while they're making your food?
Did you already hand over your money? Am I already handed, like, did my money already get handed over?
Yeah, when she switched out to go make my food, I gave the girl my money.
So she touched your money.
No, the girl who took my order switched with another girl. That girl came up, took my money, and then she went to the back, was cooking.
Okay, I'm sorry. Lola,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if I've already given my money, I'm asking for my money back.
So
if I did not give my money, I'm pulling a Viola Davis. I'm just quietly packing up my purse, turning around, and I'm walking out.
So yeah, you were too emotionally disturbed by the pizza place, which shall remain nameless, and also the Texas toast being eaten while the rest of my food was being prepared.
Mm-hmm. That's unsanitary. That just sounds unsanitary.
But I have found this occurring with that age group. Like, it's late. Yeah. They feel like, oh, it's late. I'm hungry. But why? Why don't they have manners? Like, when I was younger, like a teenager, I knew nobody wants to see me eating the food that they're ordering.
Because manners, rules, common sense have all been challenged over the recent years, and have all been thrust out the window.
Right.
It's been challenged by the newer generation, and it's been thrust out the window.
Hence why I will not eat at potlucks.
Oh, not potlucks. You know, people, I see all the like memes and the jokes about potlucks, but I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you guys, and if you've never thought about it, you may be disturbed. I have a serious problem with potlucks, not so much because of who cooked, because I used to have a science like, okay, I'm only going to eat from the people that I know personally in this potluck environment. Like, I've been with you, you've been with me, we know each other. I know you don't drink out your orange juice carton and don't put your name on it so other people don't drink behind you in your household.
Right.
Because I've met people who think it's okay to do that because their kids came from them. I'm like,
I will.
Wait, huh?
I will.
Yes.
I will batter my household if they tried that. I'm like, if you don't go and get a cup.
I know a mom, and she drinks out of the orange juice container with her mouth. Not a waterfall, with her whole ass mouth.
Wrap her lips around. Mm-hmm.
And when I said, ew, why you drink it out with your mouth? Well, it's my house. I'm not going to offer it to you, though. And I said, but what about your kids? Oh, they came from me. And I'm like, because I feel like I would have still been disgusted if my mom just smooth drank out the orange juice and poured me a glass. I want
that. Even if I live with you, no.
I don't want that. No. It's not even a waterfall. It's like whole ass lips. Like, I'm like,
no. I can see a parent doing that when they have a 5 and under crowd. Anybody, any children that are young adults, teenagers, or
Right.
even older adolescents, I'm not doing that too.
Nope.
And I should hope that those children would go on strike, a hunger strike. Because you teach them not to eat out and drink after people at a certain age, and you expect
Right.
for them to abide by that rule you gave them for their own, safety and health.
Yeah.
Then why would you turn around and do the opposite of what you're teaching them?
Right.
Yeah. Because social diseases are rampant. So no, that's
just disgusting.
Ugh.
It's not even. I'm more so of like everybody. Dental hygiene is it?
Right.
So
Yeah, and just no. I
the
mean,
mouth is not the cleanest, place on the body.
This is another thing that disturbed me about the drive-through French toast incident. She went from the cash register to the back. Did you see her stop and wash her hands?
I don't recall, because I remember I was getting my, exact change together. Get my.
That's why I said it didn't sound hygienic. It didn't. The place just
right.
And I liken that to when you pull up to a fast food restaurant or fast food place's drive-through window and you see the kids in there playing. That's making your food. They're playing and laughing.
Right.
And drive off.
Right. There's a certain chicken establishment that within the last couple years people were getting fataled over their sandwiches that is not that far from where I work.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah, and the people that are back there are younger crowd, and I see it. They're jostling around and whatnot, and the last time my order wasn't correct. I haven't been there in some months because they play too much. They're back there playing too much. I'm like, don't you have a fry basket to drop, some chicken to toss? Why are you back there? You got a line out here, and you're whooping it up like you're at the community center.
Mm-hmm.
Go wash your hands, get some gloves on, and get to work.
So yeah, that I just thought about that, thinking about the potluck thing. So what happened with said potluck was I started to notice, because potlucks before were like, when you're in elementary school and you bring like some kind of prepackaged, food for the potluck, or some Costco or Sam's Club little sandwiches or something like that. Work potlucks are more sinister because, when you think you have a plan, like so-and-so brought this, so-and-so brought that, and that's all I'm going to eat. Then the rest of general population that you don't trust come in.
Right.
And I have a real, you tell me if you had this thought. I think tank tops should be banned at potlucks. I think if you're at a potluck, you have to have a sleeve on that comes down to your elbow or your wrist, or is a cap sleeve that is tight, because I promise you, standing in line for a potluck, as soon as I see a woman in a tank top, I don't care who she is, I don't care what she looks like, I don't care if she's somebody who made something I like, and she leans over to get something, all I see is snowflakes. All I see is snowflakes. I just see giant deodorant flaking down into all the food that's in front of her as she reaches over to get something behind whatever is directly in front of her. Has nobody ever had this sinister picture play through their head, just snowflakes falling from people's under armpits
Look,
into
Lola, when I tell you, when I Summer, when I tell you that this woman has scarred me with her musings of potlucks over the years, that's one of the reasons why, that's one of the big reasons why I stopped doing potlucks, because I started observing the people and their mannerisms while they're getting or setting up or serving. And I'm like, this ain't it. Are you coming to the potluck, Daphne? No, I have plans. I gotta go.
My thing too is I purposely helped set up potlucks, and I will set the food up where the line is gonna like slow up, and I've set the food up away from that part where there's a whole sink with soap,
right,
and water. And I have watched 25 to 20% of the people in the line wash their hands at that point.
Right.
But you would think that they want to wash their hands before touching community
utensils,
serving spoons and plates and napkins and you know, I can hear people say, it's not that serious. Everybody has germs. It's not that serious. You don't know how they make your food at the fast food place. They probably don't wash their hands.
That's true, but we're not at the fast food place and tell that to the pandemic.
Right. I'm like, you just came out of a pandemic. And people just lazy.
And just as nasty as ever.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the root though is laziness. It's just laziness.
I mean,
like nasty. If they weren't lazy, they would actually wash their hands, which will, you know, take care of the nasty part. It's lazy.
It doesn't even seem like a hard task. Like
it's not.
Just flip, and then you know, you just flip hot water, right? Because like ideally you want hot water or warm water. Ideally, I know some places you go to, like in public, they don't have hot water that comes on, and then I find
you soap
scrubbing a little longer with the soapy water. But I have found through observation at the awkwardness of a public bathroom sink, and tell me if you've seen these people, you basically are shaming them into washing their hands. Like they come out the stall and you saw their shoes in the stall when you went in your stall, you did your business, you came out, you still saw their shoes in the stall, and you know, set up, you put the water on your hands, you put the soap in your hands, and you are now lathering. Like you're doing I do a fingernail scrub into the palm of the hand, I lace the fingers. You gotta hit the back, you know, and you go up to your wrist. I don't know, you gotta get up to your wrist. Okay, so I'm washing hands. And then the person, you know, on your rinse, the person comes out of the bathroom. And they look at you and you look at them and you keep on washing. And then they stare at the sink like it's a foreign thing. And they look at you again and you're washing, right? You're getting it. And then they look at you and they make some kind of awkward face and tap the water on like, and then they go partial pump, not a full pump. A partial pump where you can barely see. And I'm like, if you have a soap allergy, you need to provide the hypoallergenic soap on your person out in your day. You know, I have an allergy to this kind of soap. Well, then you need to bring your own soap when you go into the bathroom. So it's a partial pump. It's not even a full like soap in their hand. And then you hear again, and then you hear the paper towel. I'm not even at the paper towel yet. How you at the paper towel? I don't know. I'm not saying you have to sing your ABCs while you're washing your hand, but it is advisable. However, how are you at the paper towel portion when I am not? So then I feel like I just shamed you by my whole person being in front of you into washing your hands.
And I don't think there's a problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with shaming people into hygiene. especially when you're out in public. It is in the best interest of public health that
Right.
people are shamed into cleaning their hands.
Right.
Is it not?
I wish they would.
Is
Because
it not
I'll
in
go.
the best interest of the public's health?
Right.
You know, I thought so because there's nothing like fecal matter germs.
Oh my God. Oh.
Breading on. I wish more places would go to push in and push out bathrooms. I mean, just like I can use my toe, and get out
Right.
and get
Right.
in. I
Well,
can't.
Right.
I just look at it like, y'all want to provide all these paper towels? Because I'm going to be pulling them to open up this door. Oh, well.
Exactly.
And what's with the places that don't put the paper towel open door? No, the paper. Oh, I can't. I can't. I feel like, okay, if I rub my hands on my body, they're dirty again.
Right.
If I, wait in this stupid line where you are blowing. There's one lady, I can't remember, she just irritated me. She did like a big hand clap. Why are you clapping your wet hands all over the place?
Exactly.
Just dry your hands, rub them, they get dry, you leave. But yeah, people were trying to save the world with no paper towels. But why do some places have the paper towels going out the door and they don't have a trash can there? What am I gonna do with this? I just touched the funky door handle, and now I have a funky. I need to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be wrong to just throw it on the ground like fuck your mom? Like, here, stupid.
I don't. I just keep it clasped. And well, you know what? I'm not gonna. Let me just go ahead.
See, you fuck your mom too and throw it on the ground.
I don't throw it on the ground. I know I don't throw it on the ground. When I open the door and I swing it open so I can run through however heavy it is, whatever amount of room that it gave me to come like squeeze through, I swing it open and I leave that paper towel clenching around the handle.
I didn't think about that one. I was trying to find a trash can.
I see, and I knew you were gonna say something insane like that because all I could think is the person who comes behind you is like, now they're held hostage in the bathroom. Like, oh.
Well, you know what? I swung it open as hard as I could. If you were behind me, then you saw what I was doing. Then you're gonna have to try and get through too. Put your foot away, elbow out there, whatever you need to do. But and I've had people do that too before. I have swung it open and I've had people wait behind me after I swung it open, and the last person would throw their foot and they would throw their foot away and kick it open some more, and the rest will follow them, whoever's coming out. Because it's quite a task to wash your hands and feel clean when you're out. So yeah, I'm not going to hold that paper towel in my hand and then look around like, okay, where am I going to throw it to? No, it's going with the door. I'm swinging it open, and with the silk clasp around the door, it's with the door. So therefore, nobody will see me littering.
Now, I have so many ideas. I hope this urges people to just put a trash can at the door so you could just properly throw it away.
At least.
And the funny part about it is that whenever I go into public restrooms and I see like wads of paper towels behind the door, I never think that I am one of the persons who have done that.
What slide did that?
Towel on the handle? Yes, you do.
Until now, I never thought I was the person to do that until I just said it now. I would go in those rooms and I would be like, "Look at this mess." And I look around like, "Oh, there's no trash."
Now every time I see a paper ball mountain inside a bathroom, I'm gonna think of you.
Oh my stars!
But it has to be behind the door. Have you ever seen the ones behind the door?
It's you. You've been there.
Yeah, but it's so funny that I never thought. Whenever I would see that, I would just think like, "Look at this, just trifling folks, just throwing paper towels." And I never thought that, oh, you are also one of those people who are doing it because you are swinging it with the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, Wow. Okay, you learned something about
Epiphanies.
yourself.
That was a fit the description epiphany. Yes. It's like therapy time.
Well,
Businesses, get trash cans behind the door so we don't have to throw paper towels with, germs on them around.
Right.
yeah. Well, I mean, if they have cleaning staff, they should have a lot of places these days hire cleaning services.
Right.
So they don't even, their employees don't even do it anymore.
You know what's insane? I thought to myself, when you go to like, I guess, a club or something and they have the person in the bathroom with their little items for freshening up and you're supposed to tip them. I said, oh Lord, not tip it again. That's not what I want to talk about. Because
I love those people though.
But they're always interesting. Like, I'm like, what rehab did you just get out of? Because you are great.
I love those people too, but I think about where did they get them products and who's been touching them?
Yeah, well, see, I don't ever use their products, but I do appreciate the people standing there like mannequins,
Right.
So I do appreciate that because it makes me feel like, like, ooh, pinky finger up. Okay. It makes me feel like,
you lied.
It makes me feel like my name is Muffy or something.
Yeah.
So
bougie bathroom services.
Right.
I never use their products, but I often wonder, wow, like how long do you have to stay in here no matter who's in here doing what? Because this is a restroom. So, you have
people in there jacking up the bathroom and you just there handing out paper towels.
Yes, but even those people who have intestinal, they may have digestive issues,
IBS, yeah,
and they go into the restroom because there's a lot of times where I've walked into a restroom and I'm like, yeah, no, I can hold it. I'm going back out.
Right.
But no, some people do have those systems. I call it baby systems. It goes in and right back out. And I'm like, well, is this the way our systems are supposed to work, Lord? In and right back out? I don't think so.
No, because you've grown up. You're an adult person now, so you should be able to clench. If your body is still working like an infant, there's something wrong, which is why we call it IBS.
Oh, you can hold it from the front and the back.
Oh my goodness!
The bathroom.
Yes, if you can. You're not wearing diapers no more. I hope not. At the age of 30, 20.
Oh, so I had an experience with said bathroom. And I don't know. I don't know why I marvel over public bathrooms. I'll probably end up writing a research paper on it. But we were driving from Mannheim to Paris, France. So we're going from Mannheim, Germany to Paris, France. So we drove in. It was a little like 3 to 4 hour drive, right? So we stop at the gas station to fill up and use the bathroom. And I was like, man, I have to, I didn't take a morning dump. I don't know if that's a thing for everybody, but I was like, I didn't take a morning dump and I gotta go. And I was like, gas station bathroom. Okay, cool. I'm right up in here, use the bathroom and bounce. And when I got around the corner to where the condom dispenser and the bathroom entrance was, there was 2 women at a long wood folding table. And they were smiling with a little tip jar. And I was like, are these prostitutes? Because they were surgically enhanced on top. They were sitting high and proud. And they had little pink tank tops on, little jeans. And they were like made up in the face. And they were sitting there like, hello. And I'm like, oh, sup? Okay. And I'm immediately like, damn, now they're gonna be waiting for how long I've been in the bathroom? This is awkward, just sitting there knowing how long I've been in the bathroom. And I was like, well, you could be doing anything in the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, right? And I was like, well, because it's a morning dump, it's like, you don't have to stay on the toilet that long. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I was like, man, this food I've been eating is not agreeing with how I'm working. So I went to town in a matter of seconds, but it smelled disgusting. I was so disgusted. I flushed the toilet and I opened the door. And this bitch is sitting here with the damn scrubber.
Oh my gosh.
She had a scrubber and she said, "Excuse me." She starts spraying air freshener. She take a little like almost like I feel like she had a tool belt at that time. She taking some spraying in the toilet. She get the scrubbing like, I'm like, oh no. I'm washing my hands looking back like, what? So basically these chicks are positioned, they hear you flush the toilet, they jump up like rope, like on it. And I was like, this is insane.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Toilet whores.
And I did not tip those bitches. Because, you know, it should have been a better system to let me know, because I was so horrified trying to wash my hands and get up out of there and from the embarrassment of what that smelled like. I've been away from home for 2 weeks. Whatever I'm eating out here, it does not smell good going out. And
it does not agree with you.
But just run up in the place, like we're passing, we have to crank our shoulders because she's spraying and scrubbing and I'm not even out the stall yet, yo, like this is insane. I was like, I don't know how much these chicks are getting tipped, but I still thought like they could also be a prostitution service. Like if you get an offer, you too can go to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
The condom dispenser was right there. Telling you. So yeah, that was my disturbing and depressing moment in time.
Well, at least they're cleaning the bathrooms. You can't say that much for the ones over here.
Right.
But who would do that job over here? Like just sit and hear the toilet flush and just jump up and just start scrubbing with the smile.
No, they get to it. Not that fast, but they get to it.
They get to it when somebody's like, there's no more seat covers.
Right. She was sitting there waiting for you to get out, right outside the door.
Right out. She heard that toilet flush and was like, boop, bing. I was like, ah. So are seat covers a thing? Like, do you always use a seat cover? If there's no seat cover, do you use toilet paper?
Yes. Yes and yes. Sometimes more than one seat cover, depending on what the bathroom looks like.
Right. I will run from stall to stall.
Yep.
If there's no seat cover in a stall that I went in, I'm running to the other stalls.
Yep. If they didn't flush, I'm getting out of there.
Yep.
Okay. Is it wrong?
If there's a green fog in that bathroom, I'm gonna try to find another bathroom.
Yep.
Okay. Do you help out your fellow bathroom users? Like, I've had somebody stick their hand down and be like, hey, do you have some toilet paper? They're out over here and I really need it.
I will do it. If it's somebody I know, I'll do it.
No, it is a stranger hand you don't know.
I have. I just don't touch their hand. I just like, and if it's like a little, if it's okay, sometimes I've been in stalls where they'll have like multiple rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if I have multiple rolls, then I'll just take the roll and hand it to them. Or even if there's only one roll, I'll take out whatever I'm using. I only go, the first part into public restrooms. So I'll take out the amount that I need to use, and then I'll just give them the roll, and then I'll leave. So yeah, I do it. I don't have a problem with doing it. I just make sure there's a lot of distance between the hands. Like you hold your end, and I'm passing you on this end.
And Daphne, you help people out?
I've only done that once.
I feel bad now. I feel like a bad citizen, bathroom citizen.
Why? Because you don't?
I tell them, you got a seat cover in there. Coming into my personal space. You can't see cover in there.
Yeah. I can't. I hope it never happens again because I might lie. People are nasty. I don't want your hands in my face.
So, oh my God, you guys are that people. You guys are that person that I heard another person asking, and that person ignored them. And I had to look under the stall because the person was like in the middle. I was on one side, the person was in the middle, and then there was somebody else in the other stall. And I heard someone asking, and I'm looking, and I don't see any hands. So I'm like, okay, that's not over here by me. And so then I realized that it was the person on the other end that was asking the middle person for tissue or help.
Oh my!
And that person ignored them, did not respond, and I saw the little New Balance shoes, and I was like, it's messed up. They will not respond. They are acting like nothing's going on.
Oh my gosh.
So that's who you guys are. That is so cruel.
No, it is not.
That person might have been having an IBS moment. They might have been in the clinches and couldn't speak.
I am not that person who just sits there because I know they can see my shoes, okay? I am the person who gives helpful tips on how to think when you're in a tight situation. So I say, hey, there's seat covers in there. What are you asking for help for? Knock it off. Because I go through, kick a stall door open, look. Okay, not my stall. Kick a stall door open, look. And then when I select one, sometimes I even have to wait. And I am always traumatized by people who I don't hear pull the toilet seat cover and put it down and then flush the toilet. Because I have gone in there and seen a very disgusting toilet with everything in it, right? And then the person will see me waiting because I'm waiting for a person to flush the toilet, and then I can wait a little bit and then go in and then, do my business, as opposed to infested stall with everything in it. And then I see the person look at me and then they go like, is somebody in there? And I go, oh, no, I'm waiting for this one. And then they look at me. Yeah, they look at me weird and they run into the stall. And then I hear the toilet flush. And I'm like, all that stuff is spitting in your face. Like, if you're
back up into your hair.
If you're going to use it, cover it with a toilet seat cover. If you're going to do that, because I've seen ladies do that. Oh, I heard it. I've heard, and then the toilet flush, and then I hear the paper go in, and then I hear, and then they sit down and do their business. But to just flush it,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm paranoid about a lot of food. Maybe this should just be a therapy session because, deodorant and food and unflushed toilets, it was a lot. I need help.
Yeah. So do you guys, when you put the toilet seat down, do you punch the hole in the middle of the toilet seat?
And flop it over the front? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you're better than me because
Because you have two. You have one to flop over the front, which is the top one, and the bottom one is closed.
I don't know. I don't punch open none of them. I'll be like, oh, well, because I don't like, what if something splashed? I'm not dealing, nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but you have two. You have the bottom one.
Yeah, those seat covers are thin. The seat covers these days are thin. Like
they are.
I dry my hands with one when there was no tissue. And any paper towels in the bathroom, and I had to open the door on top of that, so I was locked in there. Well, not locked, but I was stuck in there. So I had to go to the stalls to grab out some toilet seat covers. Them things just clung to my hands and shredded up. My hands was covered in white darn paper seat towel. So I was like, no, no, those things are thin. They're super thin. And I don't use one, I don't use two, I use like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Call me wasteful, but whatever. Corporations, they can afford it.
I mean, it is what it is, but I've noticed in prior years, people were really scared about me using the bathroom standing up. But now I feel like people don't run out of the bathroom as much as they used to. Is it because everybody's like, oh yeah, it might be a trans person, or is it because people realize that women do pee standing up?
I think people realize that women pee standing up or sit on the toilet backwards and pee.
What?
There are people who will
You
sit
mean
on the toilet.
straddle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are your pants?
You stand up over the toilet seat, is what she's saying, like a straddle.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you now. I got you.
Right.
I got you now. Because I was like, I know in some places you sit facing the wall because of how, but
right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, people used to like hightail it out of the bathroom, like, oh no, because it sounded too loud. I'm like, no, it's okay. You don't have to stop whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is before all of this stuff started going on, I used to mistakenly walk into the men's bathroom. This was always by mistake. For some reason, I would see a person on the door. I would just see the person on the door, the little figures, and my brain would clock it as, I'm just like, oh, bathroom, because I'm in a rush. So I'm like, okay, bathroom, people, go in the bathroom, girl, go in there. And then I will walk in there and I will see urinals, but still my brain is not clocking that this is a man's bathroom.
Right.
What? I mean, did you just walk till they had the one stall?
Yes. And I thought, whenever I thought back to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, how many men have thought that I was a good, a real good with the T at the end, a good flip. How many men thought that I was a good flip? How many do you think?
I don't know. You know what? But remember before, when there used to be like entitled women before men started demanding their rights, who would be like, I can't use the bathroom because it's a long line. I'm just going to go into the men's bathroom. Maybe they thought you were just entitled.
Could have. I actually had a man when I was walking out and he was looking at me.
Oh, shoot.
That's why I said, how many men thought in those days? And this was like probably I would say between 2013 and 2015.
Oh yeah, it was a different time.
Right.
I was walking out and a man was walking in and he like stopped in his track and just looked at me, bucked his eyes. And I was like, excuse me. And then I walked out and it still didn't dawn on me.
That just been in a whole men's bathroom doing your business?
Yeah, I went to the bathroom, went to the stall and saw the urinals and was like, oh, this is weird. This is weird toilets. And then I walked out. After his restroom, I walked out and he stopped and he looked like, what in the world? And
wow.
I didn't think anything of it. In fact, in my mind, I was like, oh, this man is going into a woman's bathroom. And I just kept going.
I'm going to report him. He's going to get a report.
You know what? I call that one of my mini blonde moments. That's what I chucked it up to. I chucked it up to as one of my mini blonde moments and I've had a lot of situations that I've done that where I've walked into a man's bathroom without knowing a man has been in there at the urinal, and I walked in and he looked at me and like there was just so many times that I'm like, this, I probably shouldn't be out by myself.
Oh no.
Like, you need an escort now?
And I'm just like, and these incidents happen at the bowling alley.
Oh no.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh Lord.
I almost choked.
Yeah, the bowling alley. There's some creeps in some bowling alleys.
Is it because maybe the bowling alley just has you too at ease and like you just walk into any door like, these bathrooms, bowling alley.
Maybe. I don't know. Or you know what? I think it's because Have you guys noticed that the men's bathrooms are always the first ones you encounter, and then you're like, "Where's the women's bathroom?" And they're like, "Oh, it's all the
Yes.
way over there."
Yes.
I think it's
Hmm.
more of that
I don't
than
think I ever noticed that.
it is. Yeah, they are. You go to
I'm
any
gonna have to
amusement
look.
park. Yeah, go to amusement parks. Go to any store. You will see a man's bathroom first,
Before
and
you
then
see a
you'll see a
woman's.
woman's
Yeah.
bathroom a little farther off. Yeah.
Do you
Mm,
think it's because they want men to have access? Like, if a man's in a woman's bathroom, he has no reason to be down there because he had to go past the men's bathroom. So it's like, you have no excuse to be here, sir, because you walk all the way past your bathroom to get to the women's bathroom to be a creep.
That
Oh, that would
makes
make
sense.
sense. I would think that that would make sense, but I don't really think
Right.
that they thought about it that way. I think it was more so everything's about men, men first, medical, men first, anything,
Right.
men first. So I think it's more so of that. Women, what do you need a bathroom out for? You're just coming to the grocery store and going back home.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know why. I just heard the Ghetto Boys ladies first in my head. And I don't know why it makes me chuckle that they took Queen Latifah's ladies first song and then did that to it. I don't know.
Hmm.
I have a question. I think this was brought up before, not on the podcast, but we talked about the single mother thing. Kiki Palmer, she just had her baby, right?
Right.
Yes, the little boy.
And yeah, and she sent out a supportive message to struggling mothers on an Instagram video where she was saying that it takes a village and all of this other type of whatnot. Now, do you ladies think that what do you think about her being in the position she's in and choosing to have a child out of wedlock as opposed to, waiting her the length of time that she's waited to have a child, than to do it this way as opposed to getting married and then doing it the traditional respectable way, I suppose.
Well, the village doesn't have to be infinitely as large when you have the kind of resources that her money brings.
So is it okay for her to still be a single parent, meaning to project that image out into onto her followers
She's
who
not a
are
single
also young?
parent. The father is there. He was in the delivery. She's in a relationship. How is she a single parent?
Oh, so
Brought the
she
child in
lied.
the world outside of wedlock.
I don't
So
know.
having a child outside of wedlock is different than being a single parent, especially when you're not one. So she lied. You can lend support to mothers who are single that don't have the resources that you have, but for her to make that statement was irresponsible.
Well, no. Okay, so the video statement she made, she said, she captioned her video, "I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked." And she basically said, where is it? I haven't listened to the video. I read the article. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure if she said these exact words, but it is in quotes. Maybe they lost somebody, maybe they don't want to deal with somebody, maybe it's a choice. But when it comes to raising kids, I've already learned in these short few days that it takes a village, and sometimes that's a privilege. So, I just wanted you guys' thoughts on her bringing her starting a family outside of wedlock, presenting the image, especially in the Black community as a young Black woman, presenting this image to young girls or young women, whether they are financially successful or not, that it's okay for you to start a family in this way. What is that? What do you guys think that is saying in the larger frame of things to young Black girls?
I think it's saying, I think it's saying that young Black girls need to work on their mental maturity. I need to think that young Black girls should not be focused on what Keke Palmer is doing, because unless they are mimicking Keke Palmer's accolades and wealth, they would not be doing what she's doing. So she actually isn't echoing to them anything but this is my lifestyle. And once people get away from upholding other people who in 2 months, then you won't like that Keke Palmer doesn't breastfeed her baby. And then you won't like that Keke Palmer dresses her baby in the sad beige phase, that people are dressing their baby in the sad beige baby clothes. So, you know, it's always going to be something. Young Black women, teens, whoever that they're asking this question of, should probably look to people in their communities, in their schools, instead of Keke Palmer.
Right.
And
that's the sad part about it. They may not have those people in their communities or in their schools. So, which is why a lot of them, or even have those people that they can necessarily relate to, as someone such as Keke Palmer being,
they can't relate to Keke Palmer.
Not roughly, well, they can relate to her being a young Black woman.
And that's where it stops.
Right. Sometimes that's all that's needed. She's still representation. Sometimes that's all that's needed for some people. So even though all that you said is true, we know that that's not what's been done, and it's not what's necessarily going to be done on a mass scale in order to heal the Black community. Right. So with that, that's where you start to question, or I question, what is your role in helping to mend the community as a whole? Like, what, since you have this platform, since you know people, children, young people are looking up to you. It's not a matter of, I don't want them to look up to me. I didn't say for them to look up. I didn't say, you didn't say it, but it doesn't change that it's what it is.
So we're looking at it like this. Keke Palmer was a child actress. Mm-hmm. So why are we looking for a child actress that went into acting because they wanted to act to be a role model?
Because she's no longer a child, and she has transitioned to other spaces in this entertainment industry.
At what point does signing up to be an entertainer say, I have to take on a community as a voice? Some people are just good at acting.
When she decided to give opinions about the various things that happen in the community, in the world, affecting her community, that's when you decide.
So Keke Palmer is speaking on things, and you feel like then she has to.
Now she's taking on that role as being someone to look. She's taking on that role. Whenever you give your opinion about certain things that are going on in the world affecting your community, and you are, openly proclaiming to be a part of that community, now you are putting yourself in the position of, okay, now you are an activist for this community. So now let me see you go ahead and activate. Now you are open to criticism in the things that people may feel that you should be aligned with. You should be. Now you've opened yourself to that criticism. And that's basically what I'm saying. She's opened herself to that criticism. And that's why I asked, what are your thoughts about it? And I'm not saying that what you're saying is incorrect. I think it's absolutely correct. But the fact of the matter is that.
And I can say, like, I didn't look as a child, as a youthful person, I didn't look to people that way. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not looking up a Zora Neale Hurston book like, oh, I want to know about her life so I can live like her. I want to be her. Like, and I can say possibly because I was trained, your role model starts in here, I feed you.
Right.
But not everybody has that. There's more than a lot of people that they don't have that. So, and if they did, the community wouldn't be in the position that it is now.
So here's another question. There are other child actresses that have moved on and are successful and don't have children and don't have babies out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. So Keke Palmer is 1 out of 10?
Yeah, this is true.
So why are we only looking to Keke? Why can Keke Palmer only be the savior? She can't. She's talked about some things in the community. That's fine. But there's other people who also, represent the community. So why make bad choices on who you're going to follow? If I can't tell people how to think, and I am blessed to feel like I had a better thought process than some people, unfortunately, have. But I can't even tell you. I don't know the answer for that. I'll just be honest. I don't know the answer for that because I don't know why people think differently than I would think when, to me, it feels like rationality.
Yeah, but again, not everybody had the same upbringing. Not everybody had those same tools that were passed down to them. So that's the reason why they may look. And sometimes it's just based on personality. Some people do have that family where the parents are very active and they're teaching them in a similar way as you learned. But the child themselves just choose to look outward.
Right.
So at the end of the day, Keke Palmer is relevant. That's why it's her and not the other 10 or dozens of people who have done things that other way. She's what's relevant right now. And that's what makes it that much more, I guess, powerful or impactful to the youth.
Yeah, I just feel like those are the kind of things that make people in those positions have mental health issues, have undue stress, have breakdowns.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a lot.
Because it's like we're unfairly demanding that Keke Palmer be the savior. No, maybe we should all get in our communities and do the work. Why is it?
I don't think that we're unfairly demanding. I don't think the population or her fans or whoever, I don't think people unfairly demand from entertainers this stuff. I think it's transactional. You want to talk to us about things that you want to talk to us about. You want to demand from us in certain ways to support you in the things that you want to do. And in return, we are looking for you to not only do those things. Yeah, that's great. We didn't go look for Keke Palmer and go, hey, we need Keke Palmer as an actress, a young actress. We need her. No, they didn't do that. True. But she came into and she was recognized as having the talent. And people are like, oh, yay, that's nice, because that's what she wanted to do. That's nice. But then on the flip side, this is what we expect from you. This is the behavior that we are looking for you to present. So I think it's like that.
I feel like I would show up and go, I'm an actress. I'm not going to talk to you about, because then at the same time, when they have actresses and actors that don't talk about their private life, people are like, no, we demand you tell us your personal business. There's oh dear, what is that person's name? It's a few people that haven't given their baby's name to the public, and people are like, no, we demand your baby name to the public. Like, no, like I don't want to tell you my kid's name.
Nicki Minaj calls her child Papa Bear.
Yeah, she hasn't released his name, I don't think. And I don't even just barely start showing his pictures.
Right.
But
so I feel like Keke Palmer being a child actress, you don't know what the agent was saying. Oh, you need to speak on this. Oh, you need to speak on this. Maybe Keke Palmer's a grown ass woman now. She don't want to have to speak on this, but then, people are like, well, you've been speaking on it. And she's like, I just want to be a mom. I just want to be mindful of my business. That's why people like complain about Rihanna. I was like, Rihanna had not dropped the album since the album dropped the album. She wants to go off. She wants to enjoy her billions. She wants to chill out. And she's like, apparently been through enough stuff with how the media perceives her and what they want from her that she's like, yeah, I don't have to give it to you. And I'm not. Right. So have a good day.
Right. Yeah, I think that's that. I think it's it's almost like an unspoken contract or how do you say? What do you call those? Is it unspoken contract? Is it
a quid pro quo?
Yeah, pretty much. When as an actress or an entertainer, you sign up for that. That's how I look at it.
But when children do that, their parents are signing them up for that. And there's a point where you become an adult and you're like, I don't want it.
Right. And then you make a choice if you don't want it or if you do. But if you're still being put in front of the faces of the masses, then you obviously have chosen as an adult that you're still going to play in the game. So after 18, 19, 20, whatever age they deem as an adult in entertainment industry where they're able to sign off legally and say, hey, I'm representing myself or yada, 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 you're no longer under your parents' control. At that point, yes, you are now signing the contract as a fully aware adult of your role and of your role as an entertainer, as, an employee of all of these other mega businesses that you were connected to. You have now signed the contract to fulfill whatever it is that they want you to fulfill. And if that includes you speaking about whatever, events that are happening in the world as pertaining to your community. Again, this is a platform. These are business relationships. So she knows very well of what she's getting into. So I kind of like, I frown when they say, oh, I'm just an entertainer. I don't. Yeah, you're just human. So you don't know everything. I get it. But you also put yourself in a position to where you wanted your voice and what you're saying to hold weight, which is why you keep saying stuff. So
you feel like she should have had her baby, posted a picture and said, hey, good night, all.
She didn't have to post a picture of her baby at all.
Okay, so she did like, yeah, my baby was born. Good night, all.
She didn't, and nope, it wasn't even that. She didn't even have to go onto television and bust out her bare baby belly and say, I'm pregnant, child. And like, what was the surprise for? Why did the masses need to know? There are many people who have babies and raise their babies outside of the public view, but they're not relevant, nor are the masses checking for them. But that's not what she wanted. So that's my point. You ask for the fame, you ask for the recognition, you want these things, but then you complain when the other end of the party says, hey, this is what we want. I get what you're doing for your, on the business end between you and the people who you actually have contracts with, legal binding contracts with. Yeah, you guys are working it however you need to work it. Well, you got a unspoken contract with the masses. In order for us to keep checking for you, you got to give us something. And we're not only asking for movies. That's what you and your corporations are doing. That's what you guys are doing together. Now we're asking for something else. And so that's basically how I see it. That's how I
sounds
say it.
like
Unfortunately, in the community, a lot more weight is put on the shoulders of the Black entertainers to be held at a higher standard. But that's just the way that it is. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way that it is. So I think that they all do, yes, have a responsibility, especially when they speak about the things and when they are openly representatives of the community. Yeah, they definitely do.
it sounds like somebody got a hold of a talking point and said, okay, Kiki's hot right now. We'll have her speak on this subject of single motherhood.
Mm-hmm. And that could have
And
been it.
yeah, and it sounds like they're like, okay, well, you do this and get on
Instagram.
Instagram and say that, and we'll see where it goes from there. And it's crazy because they're not just single mothers in the diaspora. They're single mothers all over the planet
Right.
of every culture. So that's why I said I think it was irresponsible of her to even pick that up, because number one, you're not single. You have a plethora of resources at your beck and call because you have money. But for you to, take on single motherhood when you're not a single mother, that's why I said it was irresponsible.
And
Mhm.
I don't know what
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what, perk or promise or, what her contract was that made her go out and say that, but
I feel like she wasn't saying I'm a single mom. She was saying, "Hey, I don't know what I would do if I was a single mom. This process for me took a village." Like, I don't think she was just saying, "Hey, you single moms out there, wow, you guys are really doing it."
She said, if you are a single parent, pull out your cape. As a matter of fact, unclip your angel wings, because I don't know how else you did it. So, and I agree with you. I agree with you. That was Summer?
Daphne.
Daphne. Sorry, I'm sorry. I
That's
agree
okay.
with you, Daphne, that it could have been a talking point that she picked up on, but I'm like, in the same breath, when you know that women of the community have been made the face of single motherhood, but just
Right.
like you said, it is far and wide.
But she said
throughout the world.
parent. She didn't say mom. She said parent. She doesn't know how single parents
Yes,
did it.
a single parent pulling
So I just feel like, what's wrong with her giving kudos to single parent and acknowledging she doesn't know how she would do it without all her resources and all her assistance, because she just had a baby. She was like, wow, it takes all of this. And then she thought about single parents, mothers and or fathers. And I think we have to be careful when people make these statements to go, oh, she's talking to single mom. No, she said parent.
Yeah, I get it.
Yes, no, I get it. I understand also. My question was more in line of her being, I guess, made as a face. At the end of the day, people do a lot more looking than they do reading. Like, they do a lot more with a video than they do with listening or even actively reading information.
And that's why I said, I heard what you read, and I had to pull it up myself and look at it.
Right, that's what I did.
Those critical thinking skills, because I'm like, we've been having this conversation for a little bit, and I keep feeling like I'm saying the wrong things. And I look and it's like, oh, she said parents. So it's not about single moms or teen moms, or it's about being a parent.
Initially,
she's saying
that was because my question was about her having a child out of wedlock.
Okay.
So that's how we got. How we got, in the single mother realm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was more so about her having children out of wedlock, and what is it saying, or what does it show to young girls or young?
I don't know, But then I don't know what her religious beliefs are. I don't know what her familial affiliations are. I don't know if being married being married outside of the government getting certain taxes off of you, right. I don't know what her situation is to care about her being married or not. This lady could be with this dude for the next 60 years. Will we say, oh gosh, but she didn't get married to him? But they have a better relationship than these people out here, these nuts that are married, beating each other's heads in every night and any other thing. Oh, we're married, but I got this person on my two-way, you got this person on your two-way, and you know, the kids is confused. They're doing strange for change, but they're married. So the label isn't always the best thing to go. There's been plenty of people who've been together 20, 30 years. I don't know the nature of these relationships. They get married, and all of a sudden you see it just falls apart. So right. I can't speak on what her affiliations is because everybody's affiliation doesn't say get married. So I would not put that on her.
Well, she's openly expressed that she is a Christian. She's openly expressed that. I mean, the thing is, I'm a fan of Keke Palmer. I've always been a fan of Keke Palmer. So I'm not like, this is not to knock her. It was a question. And then it was kind of to bring it back to, you know, since it's a Black woman's discussion, mm-hmm. having young girls who I'm older than her, obviously. Yeah. So how young women will see young women, and we know the age of social media. Children grow up today in today's world. In the last several years, children are growing up on social media. They're growing up seeing more so than what we've seen. I mean, we had to go to the store and get magazines and rip out the inserts that said $1 for a whole year, 2 years worth of magazines. Right. That's how we got our entertainment. And so, and it was really very, the way that they presented it to us was, you only need to know this, what we gonna tell you, that's it. So it wasn't as much or as open as it is now. So that's how it started off then. Yeah, again, I'm a fan of hers, but I just wanted to know what you guys thought about her being not a single parent, but her being out of wedlock and having a child. And what would it say? What does it say? What does it present to the world? And like I said, because she's an entertainment, I personally, I am always annoyed whenever, not by the choice that she made, but by it being presented in such a way where entertainment maintains the image of this particular thing as these particular people.
What other young mothers have come out recently in entertainment that are married? Like, who else has birthed some babies recently that are married?
Yeah. And that's the thing. In the culture, in the communities, entertainment, nobody. But
right, it's entertainment community. They just do what they want to do.
Right. In other communities, their face, it's the face of the family, is my point. So it's always this person, it's the face of their family. Whether you have the country singers, whether you have the actresses or actors, they are units. This is the family, the mom, the dad, the children.
Right.
So that is, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, is where I was going. So you don't think that there's a problem with it? You said that everybody should just raise their own kids, and kids should.
Yes, people need to raise their own damn kids.
This is true.
Because Dub C said, I saw it's not a cop out. Dub C said, if I can influence your child in a 40-minute album, then you could influence your child in 14, 15, 17 years of raising. You got a problem in your household. Don't bring it to me. And I thought about it at the time, like, how unfair of Dub C to understand that youth are influential. But then I've seen people raise their kids, and the people on TV and entertainment can't tell that kid nothing.
Right.
And I'm like, how do we get to that? How is that child bred? How do we do that?
Well, I can only speak on what I did. My kids were only allowed to watch so much television. I had them out in libraries, parks, out riding bikes outside. Um, if they watched movies, it was something that was, not R rated. They didn't get a whole lot of entertainers influencing them because they weren't that wasn't the I didn't let entertainments babysit my kids.
Right.
Whereas today you got people that they're plopping their kids in front of the TV, giving them the Xbox, stay out of my hair. They're watching TV, they're they entertainment keeps the kids out of the adults' hair.
Yeah. But see, I would, it's not like we didn't grow up watching TV.
Right.
I'm not gonna even front. I was a television kid. Like
Oh, I was too.
I sat in front of the television. I mean, I thought that's where they got the whole latchkey kid thing from, where, both parents are at work, kids got to come home, do what they have to do, feed themselves, take care of themselves. That was the entire, 70s? Like that started, did it start in the 70s or the 60s? I don't know.
I
I
would
thought it
say
started in the 70s. Yeah. So I'm not going to necessarily knock the parents today that do use that to kind of entertain their kids for whatever reason, as long as the parent is productive, meaning parents that work from home. They may have the child, okay, you're done with your things. Okay, now go ahead and I'll let you have some entertainment for a little bit until I'm done doing my stuff. Because the stuff that we did back in the day, we watched TV. The difference is that the stuff that we consumed was a little bit more, it was considered a little bit more, I guess, homely or safer, because we got to watch like after school specials and
right,
learn how not to take candy from strangers and
right,
see what
right,
happens if, so that was the stuff that we were watching when we were growing up, versus now kids have access to all of these different streaming services that they're able to use and navigate. So I can't knock parents for doing that today. I think it's just the quality of the content that's changed a lot, on top of the cost of living. The same situation that happened back in the 70s, where parents had to work and couldn't be home with their kids after school, is the same situation that's happening now. Parents have to work. That never changed. So yeah, I think I'm going to be on the opposite end of it. And mind
Mm-hmm.
you, I have adult children, and
Mm-hmm.
I was there as much as I could be for my children as they were growing up. And they're not social media hags. They're not, they don't deal too much of with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still find understanding for parents who don't have the time, and children get lost in that world, and the parents don't realize it until it already became an addiction for the
right,
child.
right.
So you
So
think children are addicted to?
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was addicted to TV, and it wasn't as vast as it is now. I was addicted. I knew every commercial. I knew every theme song. I knew all of that stuff.
Right.
But again, it was just the quality of content that I was consuming.
I don't
That's
know. I watch soap
that's
operas, so
vastly
Right.
different. Again, but they always had a moral to a story, is my point. The moral to the story was, don't do, or this is the consequence of. It was keeping in line with whatever the societal norms were back then.
Right.
And now, as we've already covered, mistresses don't care. side chick, people, you know, the business.
What is it? Mistresses don't care, manstresses don't care.
Right.
It's just the quality of the content that is so vastly different. That's, you know, that's exposing the children to, and parents don't always, you know, especially when you are 20 plus years, 30 years older than your child. You don't know what your child's going to be doing at 15 and you 55, 60.
Right.
So yeah, I like I said, I just try and keep grace, you know, or understanding for the parents, because it's not easy, especially in these days, especially when you have 4 and 5 kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can hear people say, "Don't have 4 or 5 kids if you can't keep up with one." You know.
See, that's not that. Okay, so good. So let me. Okay, so what do you?
She's like, I have another question. Lower rules I have another question.
I tell you, my brain just. I suppressed it today. I didn't do it. I wasn't like, "Ooh, here." Okay, but so I want you guys to look up this video. It was a video. It was a man saying that he has 7 children by 7 different women.
Oh, and he was like, I didn't ask you to have these kids, so
Yes.
stop trying to get me to parent.
Yes.
Yes.
What say you? Do you think
Well,
that he has an argument?
I say yes, I agree with him. However, the caveat is, well, sir, you could easily have a vasectomy and hump and dump all you want. You have a choice. If you know this woman could go rogue, not listen to you, birth a whole damn child, and they'd be like, give me some money, play with your baby, you should seriously get a vasectomy. And if you know it's the 1% chance that it, you know, I probably won't hold you for being like, oh, I can't believe this. But I hope before you dropped your drawers and pulled out your eggplant that you had a conversation, a serious conversation. Was like, I don't care what you think is going to happen. I will never parent any child that I create. I done had a whole ass vasectomy, so I wouldn't create. But if you are the 0.09% chance that you get pregnant, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking with your baby. So you're going to be on your own in the world. And then that fool, after sitting there listening to that, has the choice to keep her pants on, get in her Honda Civic, and drive away.
Right.
People, see,
Not her Honda Civic.
People have to understand. I feel like people front like they are so forthcoming and upfront, and I told her, but they didn't. And then chicks be acting like they're so upfront, but they don't say, "Who I really want to have your baby and get married and be together." Give people the option to jump off the train ride. Just be real. I don't want to be here. I'm just here for some fun. I'm here for some fun too. I really think that if I keep on sexing him, we're going to be a couple. No, you're not.
No, you're just going to be a notch on the bedpost, a hashtag. And I will add this, condoms are infinitely less expensive than children.
You know what? A vasectomy will do the job, and you will never have to worry about a condom broke. It broke. You will never have to worry about somebody taking a tied up condom out the trash can and trying to insert themselves. You will never have to worry about that if you get a vasectomy.
Well, I sure hope he worried about if a condom broke, because he still should wear one even if he had a vasectomy.
Right, because
STDs
social
running rampant out
diseases are
here.
still, yes, exactly. And I'll preface that by saying this. How many of these young women are running around, and I tell my girls all the time, before you start dating these fools, tell them, my first date, we should go to the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take anybody to the clinic on a first date, because that's the presumption that you may end up somewhere with me that we need to go to the clinic. You're having sex with me?
But see, that does this, because there are a lot of dudes that will be like, oh, she wants to go to the clinic. Oh, heck no. That will tell you, if he does not want to go, that will tell you that you do not need to deal with this dude. And I also tell my girls that.
Mm-hmm. So it's more like a deterrent.
Yeah, if he's not even willing to think about his own safety, he's not going to think about yours.
That's like an unemployed man. I can't have sex with you. You're not willing to work hard for yourself. So if anything goes wrong, you're not going to work hard for me or a kid. So let's just, you stay on your path of, unemployment, and I will stay on my path of, being able to rest easy and breathe at night and not have nobody creating stress and problems. Yeah, let's just do that.
Right.
Yeah, I actually called BS on the dude because I'm wondering, at what point did he disclose that he didn't want children?
After she was like, I'm pregnant.
Exactly.
That's what I said. Somebody not being honest. If you sat down on day one and was like, I'm the coldest man you ever met, I will never fucks with you in your... No, he's not. And if he did do it, then shame on you for sitting up there like a dummy thinking, I wonder what the ride is like.
7.
So, yeah, you had to sit down in front of 7 different fools, and on the first day one, tell them, I don't want kids. We're never having kids. I don't want to do this with you. Fuck off.
No,
but I do want some job.
Right. I'm saying I don't believe that he's done that to all 7, because I can't believe that he has done it. Well, I don't believe he's done that to all 7, or he said that to all 7, because I find it hard to believe that all 7 of those women was like, okay, I don't care.
And see, why do we give her that voice? How come she can't be like, oh my gosh, I don't care. I just like smelling the mint on your breath.
And you know what? We gave her that voice because she had to have been that in order to hear a man tell her, I don't want no kids. You have a baby by me after we finish tussling. You on your own. That's why. That's why I'm saying that's the reason why the voice came out, was pretty much because if he was to say that, she has to have had that type of mentality in order to still go through with it.
And he probably hit that before too, for her to just be like, ooh, yeah, well, I'm just gonna take this chance.
But that's what I'm saying. Dudes who don't want kids, I should be like, I sat down and had a meal with a dude on the first date, and he was like, I would love to be married. And I'm like, oh, okay. Those same kind of dudes should sit down and be like, on the first drive-through, be like, would you like fries with that? Yeah, I'll take fries, but I'll never take a fucking baby. And then stare at the girl like, you paying for this?
Right. Because I don't really
and she does, and they go back to her place and do it raw.
Yeah, I don't really believe that a lot of men are forthcoming like that, though, because they want what they want, and they don't have to suffer. They don't have to suffer the consequences because it's not attached to them.
Right.
So they can run in there and do what they do, and then run out, and then say after the fact, I don't want no kids. You knew I didn't want no kids.
Right. Meanwhile, he didn't use a condom, pull out, pray, nothing.
Meanwhile, he land up with the next chick. And men who do that, when they don't get vasectomies, I don't believe them when they claim after having a dozen kids, they don't want children. I don't believe it. I just believe that you don't want kids with the women that you're humping around with right now, but the woman that you decide that you want to, the woman that you decide you want to marry after you turn 50.
Right.
That's when you're going to decide you want children, because men have this, you got to remember that men, they run around bragging about being able to have children as long as they want to. So a 50-year-old man can very well get with a 20-year-old woman and have children, start his family then with no problem.
This is true.
So he can spend essentially all 30 years of his, youth running around. I don't want no kids. That's your problem. I don't want kids. And then turn around and go take care of the chick he want to be with, like the chicks, like the old girl said, the poom he want to lay into. Go
Right.
take care of her kids with another man.
Mm.
So I only believe that men are serious when they get a vasectomy. You don't want children? Okay, we'll go get snipped and cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will really prove to me that you don't want one.
That's what I think. I've met people who are like, "Yep, I got papers. You want to see them?" And I'm like, "No, thank you. We're not that serious." But
Yeah,
good to know.
my I would say my sperm donor, on the paternal side, he did that after he had kids. His last child was with my mother. He got with his second wife after her and went and got snipped. Said he didn't want any more.
I had a guy. We went on a couple of snacky dates. Hot wings at the bar, and he was saying how he had a vasectomy after a bad, and I don't go into the details of this man's business, but he had a bad situation where his daughter was removed from him and the mom went off with somebody he went and got regular services from. So he was paying child support for a kid that didn't even live in the country anymore. And he was a little salty about that. So he was like, nobody's ever going to hurt me like this again. And he said he went and got a vasectomy. Okay. So he also says that he doesn't tell women that he is dating this, because we're bar friends. And he doesn't tell me he's dating this because if one of these women should happen to be a cheater like he felt his ex-wife was and impregnate herself, he said he would be the most caring, loving, supportive, soon-to-be non-parent ever. And he said he would go through the delivery with the woman. As long as she continued to play the role, he would just go along with it. And as soon as she says, "Here, hold your baby," he said he would throw his papers in her face and tell her to go find whoever the real dad is, because he'd been snipped a long time and it's not his kid. And I was like, why would you waste all your energy with somebody who's a bum? Like, she's obviously a bum. Why would you waste it?
He needs therapy. He wants revenge. Poor baby.
I was like, is this the big payback? Like, why?
Yep, he wants revenge, and if he can get it with somebody that's not the person that cheated on him, oh well. Poor
Is
thing.
that what it was? Because I was very younger, and I was like, this just sounds insane.
Yep.
How would you do all that?
He wants payback.
I just saw him walking out the hospital with like a George Jefferson strut or something, like some old throwback 1970s pimp walk or something. Like,
God.
Did something.
He set himself up for somebody else to cheat on him. Doggone it.
It was just, I don't know. I just sat there listening, dipping my hot wings and some buffalo sauce and ranch, and like, this is insane.
That is absolutely wild.
I wonder if that ever happened. I wonder if he got anybody to take him seriously and that happened. I don't know. In this day and age, you could probably get on the computer and look somebody up.
Probably. I hope not. I hope he got over that before, somebody cheated and said, "Oh, you're the pappy."
Again, if he didn't get over it, maybe he got over it when his child support payments stopped, which I don't think is correct.
Oh, man. Oh.
Which I don't think is correct. But, this is what happens when we intertwine our lives with other people.
This is true.
if we just stay in the house and don't go outside and say, please and please leave us alone in our living rooms. Just leave us alone. But we won't leave you alone. We want you to intertwine with people and make yourselves stressed. So, yeah. All right. So, ladies, I have enjoyed chatting with you. Send a special,
thoroughly so.
Send a special thanks out to TJ, who joined us and then jumped on her stream. And this has been the most fun I've had with some women in quite some time. I've been in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do this again.
Are we going to do this again?
We should.
Well, we're really going to do this again, huh? Where are we going to do that at?
I don't know.
So thanks for checking out the podcast. I like to thank Daphne, Lola Lou, and TJ, who is no longer with us. I'm Summer. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. And once again, make sure to check out the clips in the channel on the Fit the Description podcast here on YouTube. And check us out on various other platforms. The links are below.